Hello, welcome to my channel. Welcome to this video. This video will be going through topics of a little bit of domestic violence, not much, but just trigger warning that this may trigger you if you've gone through or have gone through some of the topics that I will be talking about. But I am actually going to share my story in hopes that it can help someone. I'm not sure who can find this in the internet, but it's something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and today I am ready to do so. So my name is Yamil, and I do personal and business coaching under the barefootqueen.info. I'm also a document preparer, prepare divorces in the state of Florida. And I'm a non-attorney. I'm not an attorney. I don't give legal advice, and nothing in this channel is legal advice. So just beware of that. All right. So a lot of the clients that I get, obviously, are either they're trying to leave, an alcoholic or a drug user and that sort of thing. And sometimes my knee reaction is to say, girl, just, or guy, because sometimes it's men, just leave. Just leave. Trust me, your life will be better. And I hold myself back because I know that's not that easy. How do I know it's not that easy? Because I was in that space many moons ago. I was the person that people would say, why don't you just leave? And I just couldn't. Or I would, and then only to go back a few weeks later, and with many promises being said and whatnot. And sometimes I didn't even wait for the promises. I became obsessed with helping my ex become sober. I just thought that he would be a completely different person if he was sober. Until, something happened and they made me realize that that's really what I wanted for me, not what I wanted for him. But anyway, let's go back. So I was raised in San Juan, Puerto Rico, in Puerta de Tierra. And I was 2 years old when my mom separated from my dad. They got divorced, and then my mom was with someone else. This someone else, my mom had two more children with him, and I guess he was. I don't have good memories, unfortunately, with my stepdad. I don't remember, besides maybe a trip to a river or something like that in Puerto Rico. I don't really have like any memories, of a hug or anything like that. So I do remember him uh, drunk and hitting my mom, um, particularly whenever we went to his family's house you know, in in a mountain, and he would get really toasty, and he would, I don't know, just whatever mom said or whatever she triggered, it just whatever it was. I'm not saying it was my mom's fault. I'm just saying, I was young, so I don't remember why. I just remember, knowing that, let me take my brothers to my room and just like, entertain them, and hope that mom, will be okay, basically. But I remember that. So anyway, she got off the crazy train only to go back with him again. She did a very dramatic exit when I was 8 years old. I got out of surgery and she picked me up from the hospital and said, hey, we're going on an airplane. We're leaving. I'm like, yay, And so we ended up in Homestead, lived there for I think about a year or two, and he contacted her again, and the whole thing started again, and we ended up going back, and um, you know, from that point, I was just very, I guess I at that time I understood that relationships were it's not as easy as leaving someone, just goodbye and we're done. I started to, I guess, adapt to my mom's insecurities or whatever it was that triggered her to go back with, after we had already built a life in Florida, But anyway, we went back to Puerto Rico. Eventually, she left him for someone younger, and that's another story. But when I chose, because I do believe you choose your partners. There's no such thing. Even if someone tries to convince you, and that's not the right person, at one point or another, you chose that partner. You allowed that person to get close to you. You allowed your heart to open up. So when that happens, you have this thing that you're not a victim. At that point in time, you may choose that person for different reasons, right? Like, okay, that person made us feel a certain way. That person made us feel, something important, like we mattered, or gave us something that we didn't have. So at the moment when I met my ex, it was my neighbor, and we were first friends, and then one thing leads to another, whatever. And um, I that point in time, I knew he kind of drank, but I didn't know. Well, no, I did know also that he did weed and whatever, but nothing more major than that. And as a matter of fact, later on through our relationship, there was evidence that he was doing cocaine, but he always blamed someone else. So I was like, because I'm like, okay, I don't even want to deal with weed. My first child dad, like I had a child already, and their dad, I got rid of him because of many lies he said about doing drugs and blaming other people. And I didn't want to, but at this time I just put the blind eye, because I think I felt guilty that I left my baby's daddy and left her with no dad. Like, that was really traumatic for me. I never ever wanted to do that. But it happened. And then so now I was kind of more lenient. Like, I felt like, okay, this didn't work, maybe because I was just too hasty. Let's try to make this work no matter what. And I so the years went by, and a little bit of um control issues started coming about. And fast forward 2 years later, we went back and forth a few times. And then he would actually take away the keys for the car so that I wouldn't leave the house. And there were just a lot of that, a lot of coming home 5 in the morning, 6, 3, 4, 6 in the morning, just passed out on the sofa. And pretty much that was it. Like the next day, of course, it was all in hangovers. So I just had to take the kids out of the house. And we had 3 kids together. So I one point, I don't know exactly when it happened, but I started realizing, okay, I gotta get this off this train, this crazy train. I gotta do something about this. I just don't know what to do. How can I make him stop drinking? In fact, my whole focus at that moment was on him, his recovery. I was fine. I mean, I was not, the problem. He was the problem, right? Oh, until I found Al-Anon. Al-Anon.org. There's a link on the description box. Um, I don't know exactly how I even found out that it existed, which is one of the reasons why I'm making this video. Is a lot of people don't even know Al-Anon exists, and it's anonymous for friends and family of alcoholic, friends and family of alcoholics. So if you're living with an alcoholic or a drug user, I mean, because there's AA, and then there's NA, and NA is for Narcotics Anonymous, but NA does, I don't think they have like a support program, like a 12-step program for people that live with NA. So I think Al-Anon kind of handles all of that, and it works just like AA, but it's for us, for the person that's not causing, or we think we're not causing it, not causing the drinker to drink, but not being part of the problem. Okay. And so I went there, and I remember I went there with a little notebook and a pencil, ready for them to tell me what I needed to do to make my husband stop drinking. So they said, when they just lovingly, it was a small group, lovingly looked at me and said, I can't tell you that, but all I can tell you is keep coming back. It works if you work it. Just keep coming back. You'll understand. But really what we're doing here, we're focusing on yourself. You're just focusing on you. And I know it's hard to understand that. They were very gentle with me. They said, I understand. where you're coming from. That's how we were. But just so you understand, that's not the goal here. Is that you get better, you make better decisions, you get, you find healing for yourself. And I was like, that makes no sense. I was like, what the hell am I doing here? That makes no sense. But I had no other options at that point, and I was going crazy, legit crazy, totally obsessed with his drinking. And I mean, the last straw for me was one of the times that we broke up, and he came back. Yeah, I'm not gonna drink again. I'm gonna go to AA. He went to AA one meeting, never went back, and then. But at this point, I'm thinking everything is good. We're going. He's getting sober. He's sober. He's dry. Yay! And then I saw that he had a cooler in his trunk, and it was full of Corona. Boy, was I mad. My mom was there. May she rest in peace. This was like, that's when I know I was losing my shit. I took a few of those beers and I smashed them on his truck. And up to date, that was crazy bad shit. But I tell you what, it felt so good to finally get some of that anger, some of that frustration out. But I did it in front of my kids, I did it in front of my mom. Like I knew, okay, it felt good, but this is not how I need help. I gotta figure this out. He needs to stop drinking. I need to. Anyway, so I keep going to, I don't know, because obviously I lost my shit. I can't keep living life like this, always reactive, always reacting, always reacting. And Al-Anon, I worked with a sponsor, and we worked on, I think it's step, can't remember the step, but this one with a book. And boy, it was the hardest thing to truly understand. Number one, take ownership that I chose it, because that's what I was used to. It was very hard for me to accept that. And then later on, I just started understanding too, like I learned how to not react. I mean, one day I just decided, all right, he's drunk, he's there. All right, kids, let's go to the beach. Screw it, and let him deal with his own issues. I didn't call him. I didn't text him. And I never did that before, because I've never been that kind of woman to say, where are you? Where are you? When are you coming home? If you don't want to be home, don't be home. Like I've just always been that way. But, but there will be anger, inside. And the next day he will pay the price for it. But I knew not to argue with a drunk from my childhood. So I knew that. But I didn't know what to do to move forward, kind of thing, like to just live in peace and screw him, But I learned that through Al-Anon and through the 12-step program and the meetings. I went to 2 or 3 meetings a week for a while, and just trying to do whatever I could to just, okay, how can I get better? How can I get better? And then understanding that my focus needed to be on me, not on him. If we went out somewhere and he drank, I didn't make a face anymore like I used to. I would be used to make a face. No, you don't offer him beer. He cannot drink. That sort of thing in public. I didn't do that anymore. I was just like, if he drinks, he drinks. If he gets drunk, I just take a taxi home. Whatever. I can call somebody. I can walk home. And eventually, I did that a few times. I would walk home. Just I didn't want to get in the car with a drunk person. But it's amazing what it can do when you start reflecting on yourself and not on the other person. It is such a big difference. And years has passed. Okay. That was when we broke up, that was 10 years ago. And I mean, when I'm by myself with my kids, I live now in Tampa instead of Homestead, Florida, where we used to live. And, me and him actually have a good relationship. He got remarried. He's happy. He has a baby boy. We have a good relationship. I have nothing bad to say about him at all. He loves the kids, and it's all good when it comes to that. And I'm happy for him, very happy for him, very happy. And I actually love his new wife. I think she's good for him. She really is good for him. But now, I'm just, when I look back at that time, I'm so glad I found Al-Anon. And I deal with a lot of people in that, crazy train now. And I always tell them, and I know many of them, like, why do I need to work on myself? I don't need to. That's he's the problem. But I am now understanding that a lot of it takes time for someone to understand that it all starts with you. It really all starts with you. In the decisions that you're making, there's a reason why you're making them. You know, and working on that healing and forgiving yourself for that, and also forgiving the other person, and just, you know, figure it out. Okay, is this what part am I? What piece am I building on this crazy train? Because I did cause a lot of chaos in my marriage. You know, I was not healed. I was crazy too. So we were both two crazy people going through life. And unfortunately, you know, obviously we have kids and stuff. So that had a big thing. And it was very hard to leave him what I should have. And so it took longer, you know, obviously more drama than it needed to be. But I was not ready. I was not ready to give up. I was not ready to let, you know, everything go. And I thought I was a failure either way. Either way, I was a failure. I was a failure if I stayed in a bad marriage, and I, you know, in a bad situation, and I was also bad person if I left them. So I, you know, I was not. It took a lot of strength to understand that I needed to do what I needed to do for myself. But now life is so different. Like, it's just completely different. And it was hard. And I ended up in a shelter for a little bit with my kids, because I knew that if I went back home, we would still be battling this up and down, up and down, up and down, you know. And I needed to, and at that point I had already been going to Al-Anon for about 5 years. And it took me about 5 years of working on myself to finally say, yeah, this is, it's not good for you. It's not good for me. A lot of love, but it's not good for you. It's not good for me. But anyway, I just hope that this video helps someone. It's kind of long. I didn't mean to go more than 15 minutes, but I hope it helped you. Please leave a comment or something. If I can pray for you, you know, I'll be happy to do so. And just, I do hope that you find hope that things can change and things can be better, and you both can be better, because he's better, I'm better, you know. And it's just, I hope that you find whatever happiness you're looking for. Okay, and with that said, thank you so much. Big hug. Mwah. Take care until the next video. Bye.